Hey everybody, and welcome back to another lecture with Coding with Roby. And in this lecture, we're going to go over branches and being able to merge branches and how we can use branches to really create version control and added features to applications. So let's dive in. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is to rename main.py into mathfunctions.py. So I'm going to right click, refactor, rename to mathfunctions.py. Now if we do git status, we can see that we have renamed our main.py file to mathfunctions.py. And now let's add some new functionality to math.functions. And let's erase this print hello world and print 2 plus 2. And the first thing we're going to do is create a function called addition. So def addition, and we're going to pass in a and b as the parameters, and we're just going to return a plus b. And then let's create another function called subtraction. So def subtraction, we're going to pass in a and b as the parameters, and then we're going to return a minus b. Let's now call two print functions that are going to print addition and subtraction, and we're going to pass in 10 and 5. So print addition 10 and 5 as the parameters, and then print subtraction of 10 and 5 also as the parameters. And it does look like I have a spelling error in subtraction. There should not be another S, so I'm just going to remove the second S to make it subtraction in the function, which then will cause an error in the print, so I also need to make it subtraction there. Alright, so let's go to our terminal and say git add dot, which will add all of these changes to our stashed environment. So now when we say git status, we can say we have our new file of math functions, and there's going to be changes inside the math functions. So let's commit these changes by saying git commit -m, and the message I'm going to say is rename and new addition and subtraction functions. So here we can see that there was a couple file changes where we created a new mode of math functions and we deleted our old main.py. And if we say git branch, we can see master. And then git status, we're on a clean branch. So I'm just going to do git branch one more time to just again verify that we're on our master branch. Now let's create a new branch, which is going to be in isolation of our master branch. We can see that we are in our master branch, and we want to create a new branch, which is going to add our new functionality of multiplication. So I'm going to say git branch multiplication. And now if we say git branch, we should see two different branches, our master and our multiplication branch. We can now switch over to our multiplication branch by saying git checkout multiplication branch. Now if we say git branch, we can see that we're no longer in our master branch, we're in our multiplication branch. However, if we say git log, we can see that at this commit, which is the rename and new addition and subtraction functions, we both are at the head using our multiplication branch and our master branch. To make this a little bit more clear, while we're in our multiplication branch, let's add new multiplication functionality. So I'm going to say def multiplication, a and b as the parameters, and then return a times b. And now let's print multiplication of 10 and 5. If we run this application, we can verify the multiplication functionality works. Now let's jump back to our terminal and let's do git status. So we can see that we're on the branch of multiplication branch. We don't have anything staged for the commit, but the only thing that's changed is modifying the math functions to now include the multiplication definition or function and the print. So let's say git add dot, and then git commit adding multiplication function. Now let's do git status to make sure there's nothing in our stage environment. And now let's do git log to look at all of our changes within our log. If we open up our log, we can see adding multiplication function is the head, which we're currently looking at, for the multiplication branch. So if we go back to our terminal and click Q, we can switch back to our master branch. And when we switch to our master branch, we're going to see all of this functionality disappear that we just added. However, we want to add the multiplication branch into our master branch. And we can do this by merging. So we can say git merge multiplication branch. And this time, we're going to see a fast forward of our math functions.py. And now within our masters branch, we can see that our multiplication branch is now added in. Now, as you saw, we are using git checkout a lot of the times, and you can use git switch if we're using a version of git which is new enough. So instead of saying git checkout multiplication branch, we can say git switch. And now we switch to our multiplication branch. And the reason they added switch was because checkout can be used for commits within the specific branch, and it's also the same verbiage to get new branches. So they added switch and a newer version to try and differentiate the two a little bit. And to be able to switch back to the last branch you were in without actually having to type in anything, you can say just git checkout -sign. And one last functionality, if we remember we had to create a new branch and then check out that branch, you can do this all in one code by saying git switch -c new branch. This will create the new branch and check it out for you. And lastly, let's switch back to our master branch. Let's do git branch to verify we're on the master branch. And now we can delete branches that are already merged into our master branch. Let's first do git log to verify that our head is our master, our new branch, and our multiplication branch. And now, instead, let's type in git branch -d with our branch name of multiplication branch. And now let's do git branch. And we can see we have our master and our new branch. And while on master, let's also delete the new branch. And then a git branch to just show our master branch at the end. So what we were able to accomplish here is we were able to create a new branch, multiplication branch, where we added a new functionality of multiplication. And then we were able to merge that multiplication branch into our master branch. So there was no changes happening. And you typically create new branches when you want to add new enhancements or new functionality to an application. This wraps up how to handle merges, branches, and commits when dealing with multiple branches. And I will see you in the next video.